going down. Tired of myself, tired of this town.
Eminent Waste of Time, episode 58. I'm Doug.
And I'm Chad.
And I just rolled back in from a trip up north, a surprise trip.
Surprise. And why was it a surprise trip?
Because I was supposed to be doing the last MWXC race of this season, and instead that did not happen. We've had just buckets of rain since, well, about Wednesday, is that when it kicked up? Even Tuesday, actually.
Tuesday it started, I think.
And it's just rained, and it hasn't been torrential. It's just been that really steady 24-hour, never let up rain. And so by Thursday evening, they had to call not only the MWXC race, but IXCR. Basically, every race that was going to be happening this weekend got called. They all got pushed to next weekend. So now there's, 5 races next weekend you have a choice of?
I think so, yeah.
So it's going to be a real interesting season ender, especially for people who are still in it for points. We talk primarily about side-by-sides, so there's not much going on there. At least for MWXC is done.
IXCR still races for points
IXCR still has a race, so at least there's no contention there, but you've also got Crossroads in the mix.
Yep.
What else is going on? Stone's
Crossing? Stone's Crossing, something like that.
And so, it's going to be a real interesting mess next weekend, but it's supposed to stop raining. It's still raining right now. This is Sunday evening.
Oh, it's supposed to rain till Tuesday, 2 more inches.
Oh, really? Because the last forecast I saw said today was it, but maybe they've changed that.
Yeah, the last I heard was 2 more inches.
Oh, Lord. So, anyways, because of that, we decided I was going to miss my wife's birthday celebration this weekend. Her birthday's actually tomorrow. And I was going to miss the whole thing because I had to do the MWXC race. So since that got pushed, it was kind of a last minute, put the dogs in the kennel, do a bunch of laundry, get the house ready to go. And then as soon as I got out of work on Friday, we went up north and I just got back and here we are.
Yep. Just for this.
Just for this. Just for you, our lovely listening and viewing public.
Yep.
And since we don't have a whole ton of content because not a whole lot happened.
Well, we do. I got stuff on the list, but...
Is it good stuff?
Yeah, there's stuff.
I didn't even take a look at the list.
I got a list, man. Anyway.
Well, more importantly than that, we actually now are bringing in Zach Nash from Side by Side Videos. And Zach, you had a great ride going this weekend, and we were kind of talking about it. You sent me a bunch of video, and I thought, well, shoot, rather than me trying to tell people about a ride I wasn't on, let's just bring you in. So how's things going out there? First of all, where are you?
I'm out at Hot Springs, Arkansas, at it's Hot Springs ORV, and it's a really nice park. We got down here late Friday night, and I've been riding ever since Saturday morning. And we rode Saturday. We didn't ride today because we had a bunch of damage to the Razor, and all my buddies left, so we did some stuff in town today.
Yeah.
Hey, that sounds it sounds like from what I heard from you and saw from the videos, there definitely was some carnage there. I mean, you had a fair amount of buggies, so by percentage it might have been too bad, but yeah, it definitely sounds like you did some damage there this weekend.
Yeah, we had some carnage. First off, we started out, and I didn't know what to expect. I always heard it was just a real nasty park. There's not a whole lot of stuff on YouTube, and so we just going to go and see what happens. And the guys who rode Friday said it's a pretty good place. So we jumped in there, and right off the bat we started up this nasty hill. And for some reason I didn't grab my glasses, and my buddy was going up a steep hill, and it was loose rock, spun the tires, and I caught a rock right here, as you can see from the video.
Oh man! Nicely done.
That happened. Yeah, that happened. I think only 2 have made it up the hill. I just backed down because I about got knocked silly and went rolling down the hill on accident. So we did that, and then we, hit some couple little trails, and we stopped, and a couple girls, they're at a 1000 XP, and they looked over and they said, "Zach, you're leaking oil." I'm like, "You know what? Leaking oil." So I got out, and it was transmission oil just pouring out of by the skid plate onto the ground. So that sucks.
Yeah.
That's a rough way to start a ride.
Yeah, about a mile in, I got just get knocked out, then my transmission case is busted.
I've had those weekends.
Yeah, it seems like it's every weekend lately.
Yeah.
So what was this? Was this just a group of people getting together? Or was this a specific ride for a specific purpose? Or just, it's getting towards the end of the season, let's get out there?
Yeah, no, really no purpose. I ride with a pretty good group from here in Missouri, range anywhere from St. Louis all the way down to Cape Girardeau. And actually, some of the racers that you guys probably know from the cross-country stuff, but none of them guys are here this weekend. But it's just we have a real rough crew that we ride with. There's about anywhere from 6 of us, and sometimes there's 15 or 20. And we always get together and we try to find the most difficult terrain all over North America. And we've been to quite a few places, but yeah, just a regular group of guys that I ride with this weekend.
Man, that sounds awesome. Yeah. Honestly, we have a lot of fun racing and doing that kind of stuff, but just kind of a laid back hangout trail ride sounds really good.
Yeah, it does. Well,
yeah, we love it. Because it seems like the racing, it almost becomes like a job almost, and it's just money you're spending. It's not even making money. It's just, and I got a lot of buddies that do it, and the hill killing racing. That's what most of my buddies do, and it's terrible too. But the riding, I really dig it. We get out, we camp, we hang out, we ride, hang out, ride, and it's just really hard to beat. Definitely the most irresponsible fun I've ever had.
I don't know. I've had some irresponsible fun. It might be the fun factor is probably as good as any. The irresponsibleness is probably slightly less than some things I've done.
Oh, yeah.
So you got the side-by-side video thing going. Why don't you kind of tell everybody a little bit about what that is?
Yeah, really, side-by-side videos. It started out with, I always wanted to do a YouTube channel. I really didn't have any content. And I bought a Razor, and we rode last year, but I had a 900S. So we stepped up to the turbo, and I was like, let's do this. I was telling my wife, and we just get together and ride, and we don't plan, we don't set anything up, we just ride. And my wife actually does everything on my cell phone, and she'll hop out and she'll catch all the action, or she'll get it while she's in the Razor, and or just whatever. We'll just get out and ride and have fun. And the type of terrain that we do, it creates a lot of the carnage.
Yeah.
And it's just something we're doing. And I've had a few companies reach out to me and just back in the YouTube channel, which has been nice. I never thought I'd ever have a sponsorship, but we're just having a lot of fun with it, and just really glad. And heck, I never thought I'd be on a podcast, but I listen to this every time. I thought it would be cool, and here we are.
Yeah. No, I've followed your stuff for a while. It is hard to come up with content, isn't it? I mean,
it really is, and it's been really hard the last month and a half because my Razor has been out of commission with some stuff.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, because I've seen some of these creators where they have a Facebook presence and then they have their YouTube channel, and their Facebook presence shows they're about 2 months ahead of where their YouTube presence shows.
Yep.
And so it's like,
it is.
It's frustrating as a viewer, because you're wanting to say, why don't you keep us more up to date? But they're doing this because if they ever hit this dry spell of content, they have a backlog that they can carry through to catch back up. I completely get that.
Yeah, and I even started, because the last month has been tough trying to find content, because I've been having some diff problems with, and that's really been a whole nother, that's a whole nother podcast, but we won't go there. But anyway, so no, it's all right. Like, I have a few more ideas, and we got the biggest problem is trying to get everyone together and actually go on the ride. Because it starts out with 20, then there's 2, then there's 5, then there's 6, and then it's getting to the right place, getting off work, and it's just content can be tough to come by. But I keep a pretty strong Instagram page, and I'm just getting my Facebook up and going on my side-by-side video, the actual profile. So yeah, it's happening, and it's hard to get the subscribers. People think it's like, oh, it's so easy, just ask someone to subscribe and watch your videos. Like, it's really not. No. I'm about 330, I don't know, somewhere around there, and I have a few thousand views on a couple videos. But to me, that's big steps, and people don't even realize what it takes that really goes into a channel like this.
Yeah, we're about to crack 100 subscribers, I think, for what we're doing. And honestly, it's nice. We finally have more subscribers than we have videos on the page. So for us, that's a huge milestone. But yeah, even if people are really following your content, like you said, it's you can beg people who really like your stuff, and it's really hard to get people to give you a like or a comment or a share or anything like that.
Oh yeah,
it's pulling teeth. But you know what? On the flip side, I think about the amount of content I've enjoyed on YouTube that I just never bothered to do anything with either. I never even gave it a thumbs up or anything. So we're all guilty.
Right. Well, I never even thought of that till I have my channel. Now I I make it a habit, every time I watch a video, at least put something on there, whether it's a thumbs up or even a thumbs down is attention. There's no such thing as bad attention, I don't think.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm definitely more conscious about that now because, like you said, I know how much it takes just to get that and to generate it and to get it moving.
Right. And what you do, like you said, the kind of writing you guys do, you guys tend to generate more exciting video clips, than what like we do. I'm not saying what we do is bad. I'm just saying we're more informative. We're more,
right.
And it's bad.
It's bad, but
no, I've been following you guys lately, and the YouTube's content I think has actually gotten better, from your guys' standpoint. But you can only do so much stuff, and informative stuff it's there. But you have 10 other people putting the same stuff out there on the informative things, and then nothing looks like on video what it actually does in person.
Oh yeah.
So that makes it tough too to make a good video. And I don't know how she does it. She gets out and she gets this angle, that angle. She does it all on my cell phone, and then I have an hour and a half of content. I'm like, well, hopefully I can find 11 exciting minutes of this that actually looks exciting on video.
Yeah, because the cameras all flatten out the hills, and it makes it look, a hill that you can really struggle getting up. It's like it just looks like, well, why didn't he just drive up that thing in two-wheel drive?
More throttle,
I do that too, but it's just funny. You watch a video, it's like, oh, here's a line, and it's really not the line. And I tell people is look how the machine reacts, and when if you pay attention to how the machine really reacts to the terrain, that's where you really get a feel for the video.
Yeah.
I mean, that's how I get a due appreciation for stuff that I watch and things.
Yeah, but it takes someone who knows. They have to know how the machines react in the first place. So
and that's true, and it's tough, and especially someone in the non-side-by-side community, it's really hard for them to understand. But I have friends that do watch it that aren't Razor owners, and I think they subscribe just to make me feel good about myself. So.
I know some of our subscribers are like family and friends, and I appreciate all that because otherwise our numbers would be really abysmal. But
I don't have any friends, so whatever.
yeah, outside the Razor communities, I don't have many.
Yeah, I'm about the same way. I mean, pretty much everybody I hang out with they're probably a Razor owner. That's kind of the people I run with.
Pretty much.
Yeah, I have a couple Can-Am friends I let come in, though.
Yeah, you got to make them feel welcome.
You got to make room for the rowdy ones, huh?
Yeah.
Hey, that X3 is a bad machine. I'll take that all day long.
Oh, I would love to have one. The only reason I didn't go that route, the price tag is really steep for what you get.
Oh, yeah, I saved $10,000 right out the gate.
Yeah, and on top of that, for trail riding and like normal use, they just ride so low. You just lose several inches of ground clearance straight out of the gate, and it's really hard to justify. I'm going to spend $10,000 more, and I'm going to need to lift it, and I'll probably need bigger tires just to make it perform the same for trail riding. Now, for racing is a whole nother story.
Yeah.
Right. Oh, yeah. Yep, and that's the same way. At least the Razor comes with those 29-inch big horns, so that helps for just trail riding. Of course, I have 32s now, and that's probably why I'm breaking so much stuff.
Yeah, I know how that goes.
Yeah.
What kind of tires you run now that you're not on big horns?
Yeah, well, I had the MRTs for a long time, and are you guys familiar with those tires?
Vaguely. I mean, I've seen them. But
anyways, they look just like the Pro Crawler, like the XGs, but they have a Kevlar sidewall. And I ran those for a long time, and I recently got rid of those and actually have Fuel off-road tires. And it's a newer tire in the UTV world, which Fuel's been making stuff for trucks for years, but they got in the UTV world about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
And there's a company out of Oklahoma that's telling me, like, man, you really need to get on this for the type of riding that you do. Because I was like, okay, so I got them on there. They have, I don't know, maybe 60 or 70 miles on them, and they're 32s. And I have their ANZA Fuel ANZA 14x7 beadlock wheels too. And as far as rock goes, it's really going to be hard to find a better tire, and they really perform.
Really like them, huh?
Yeah, I mean they do. I mean it's a deep 1-inch lug. And it has a lot of surface ground on the tread, a lot of tread surface, and they really hook up on rock and wet rock, and that's the hardest thing for is wet rock. And it's like you mentioned earlier, it's been raining like crazy. It's been raining down here, and every time it rains, there's always carnage. We had carnage, but it worked. But I could tell a difference from these to the other ones, which the other ones hooked up good. They weren't stickies, but and these aren't either. But they work really well.
They work
so
pretty
I'm
well.
pretty happy with them. Yeah, I was doing stuff on slicker rock that other guys weren't, but vice versa. They were doing more stuff on gravel and dirt that I couldn't touch. It's a give and take, and the type of riding that I do, they're really doing good.
Well, that's an interesting point because there's no one tire. Sometimes you get people, I just want one tire that'll do everything. Well, you're going to be really bitterly disappointed because that doesn't happen.
Mm-hmm. No, it's really tough to find that. That's why they put the bighorns on the Razor, because it's decent at everything. That's why they do that. And but I try to find what I do is purpose built. Everything I do is around hill killing and rock climbing and rock bouncing. So for me, that's a pretty good tire. But there's no tires. I hate it on Facebook when everybody, what's the best tire? What tire should I buy? And it's just like that video you put out.
I was gonna say, I think I just did a video about that.
Yeah. Well, when I said that, it reminded me of it. It was just like, well, that sums Facebook up in a wrap, 100%. So, yeah, but I don't know. I like these tires, so.
Yeah, I just picked up some carnivores.
Great tire.
In 30-inch, I went 30 by 10, 30, 10, 14 all the way around.
Sure.
I'm not looking for specific rock tires, mud tires. I kind of want an all around, and they seem so far, the little bit that I've put on them, like they're good for that.
Yeah.
So. Yeah,
as you'll see in the video, like from this weekend, there's probably 3 or 4 Razors with carnivores on it from this weekend.
Yeah.
And so that's a good all around tire. It's kind of like the new Crawler XG, like the Pro Crawler. They came out with that one, and everyone wanted it. And it's a good tire. And I still got a couple buddies that run it. And then now the carnivores, it seems like it's the new tire right now that's pretty much doing everything.
Yeah.
I noticed that. I was wondering if you went with 30s or 32s.
I went with 30s. I tend to not get in the mud, so I don't need the height for that. And I don't have a lot of deep ruts around my place here. Now, I'm not saying I won't encounter deep ruts.
Or make some.
Or make my own. But, and I'm like you. I'm kind of hard on things sometimes, so I think the smaller tire might save me a little in the long run.
And that's right. My old tires, MRTs, they were 30s, and I noticed I could beat on it a little harder with the 30s, and that's all right. When they break, it's the best thing about that, you just upgrade it with better parts.
Yeah.
So.
My dad was kind of giving me grief because he saw that I got new tires, and he's like, "Oh, you went bigger." He goes, "You're going to break stuff." It's like, I don't think I will.
An inch?
Yeah.
And then he was like,
come on.
He's like, and you're going to slow it down now. I'm like, with my ECU, I'm touching right at 200 horse. I'm not really hurting for power. I mean,
no, you're not going to hurt with 30s. I had 30s, and 30s it's a great all-around size.
Yeah.
And I knew I was going to be 32s, and especially these fuels, the wheels and tires. I forget on average how much more they are than everyone else, but they're a little heavier. But I have 200 horsepower with that tune you got, and you're not going to worry about it. I couldn't feel a difference from size from 29s to 30s.
No, I didn't either. It's
30 is a good size.
It's tough to tell because I went with STI HD beadlocks at the same time, so I changed complete wheel and tire packages. So it's like, how much is the tire versus how much is the wheel weight? And
right. Yeah.
But I still didn't feel a ton difference,
No, I think it's like an extra 10 pounds per tire with that setup you have. That's basically what I had on the when I had 30s. And also that Carnivore is a pretty light tire in relative to other tires. I don't know if you check that out.
Yeah, but it's still an 8-ply. I mean, it's...
Yeah, it is.
So it's still pretty stout carcass, but it's not as heavy as some of the other 8-ply offerings in that size. So.
And yet I wouldn't worry about that as far as the that the tire being a bad tire. It's a really pretty tough tire because people you'll see on Facebook, they'll say, oh, the soft sidewalls, and we have guys that bounce off rocks all day long. So you definitely didn't go wrong, especially for the price they are right now.
Yeah, and you were telling me, even with all the carnage this weekend, you didn't lose one tire, you thought. I mean, axles and transfer cases and everything else, but...
Yeah, it was weird. We usually do, we go to a place called S'more, usually, and ride out there, and I think I went through 6 tires down there a month and a half ago.
Oh, jeez.
But, that was a whole nother trip. But anyway, but no, this one we had 2 broken axles. Then the transmission case broke, so we fixed it, and then that was it. We had 3 rollovers, but but somehow no one. And this is slick sharp rock, so we may have just got lucky or something. I don't know how that happened like that.
Now, do you run spines or tire balls or anything like that in your stuff?
No, I don't. The last tires were a Kevlar sidewall, and I like those, but fuel, they don't offer that yet. But no, I just run, I try to run higher PSI. I've jumped up to 10, and as long as I can get around, I stay at 10.
Yeah.
You know, because the lower you go, you got pinch flats and that sort of thing. So, I don't know, I ran 10, but like the tire splines, they are good, but I don't know really anyone that runs them except for like those cross country guys that you run around with. Yeah.
I run slime in all of my stuff. I always slime my tires.
Okay. Can you tell the difference with that?
I can, because my Bighorns, when I got them the first weekend, I took it out to an MWXC race just to use to get around and to haul stuff around and kind of work the course. And I got thorns and sticks that stuck through, because there's the big honey locust thorns. And they stuck through it, and it was already, I had like 4 holes in it. I'm like, well, this is great. So I went ahead and slimed them anyway, like I was going to. They did great. Sealed it right up.
Oh, good.
Not a problem.
Good.
So I would suggest it. You can get a gallon of slime for like $20 or so on Amazon. And that'll pretty much do 4 tires. If you're doing 32s, you might need slightly more. But I mean, $20 is cheap insurance if you got a small hole.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know anyone that does that either. We usually just plug, and then there's a compound you can get.
That cold vulcanizing compound.
Yeah, cold vulcanizing kit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did that on a couple old tires. Now I got a buddy. He's got a tire probably has 4 different spots in it. It's holding up. But I'll look into that slime. Or the tire balls. I haven't really heard much about it.
Yeah. No, I went ahead and did the carnivores already too, because I was like, you know what? If I get something in it out there in the trail. If it'll give me enough time to get back, if it'll buy me that much time, good enough. So,
yeah, between that and your beadlocks, you should save a tire.
Yeah, I mean, I should be fine. I'm normally I'm pretty easy on tires because I tend to place pretty well. But
yeah, that's everything.
But about the time I say that, it's about the time I'm gonna start flattening all those things.
Yes. Yeah, for some reason I kind of doubt that as hard as I hear you ride, so it sounds like me.
Well, Mother Nature often has different ideas, too.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sometimes just can't control it. Especially when you ride hard, things happen.
Yeah. So we kind of ask all the guests these same questions, but what was your first off-road riding experience? I mean, we're not even talking side-by-sides, all the way back as far as you go.
Far as I can remember, we were deer hunting in southern Missouri, and my dad had a 95 Cherokee, and I remember the first hill he climbed in that, and I was like, well, that's pretty awesome. And I never had a side-by-side, I never had a four-wheeler. I had a 90 YJ Jeep Wrangler, and I used to beat around the trails, and then I went up from that to so I guess the Jeep, had my dad's Jeep, and then I ended up buying it from him, so Jeep Cherokee was my first wheel and rig.
So you came from the Jeep world over to the side-by-sides then?
Kind of. Basically, yeah. Not as I wasn't as serious as Jeep or some of these guys, more trail riding, overlanding, but
yeah.
So I guess that you could say that's for Jeep, yeah.
So what's the differences? I mean, I know there's differences between them, but I mean, how was your transition from the Jeep world to side-by-sides? What was your take on that, I guess?
Yeah, well, like I said, I wasn't as serious as some of these guys. But I would say it was easy is what it was. Going from a Jeep to a side-by-side, absolutely easy. And I ride with a few other guys that kind of the same thing like that. They were all serious Jeepers, but it's easy. The suspension, you can go easier, faster down the trails. You can blast up a hill in a Razor or a side-by-side. You could take a, Yamaha Wolverine and blast up a hill that Jeep would struggle at.
Yeah.
And like, just for example, which I don't think we got it on video, but you'll see whenever I post it, you'll see a whole bunch of Razors going up a hill, and it's a pretty easy hill, and we just kind of bounce right up it. But we had to wait 20 minutes on a Jeep to go up the same one, so it was a easy, more fun, faster transition.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
They're pretty well purpose built for it, where the Jeeps you kind of have to make them modify to get it to do it.
Yeah, both they come stock, with 31-inch tires and a little Dana 30, and they're just not really made for the stuff that people do to them. And I love Jeeps, so I'll never put Jeeps down, but I'll never own anything except for a sport side by side.
Yeah.
Well, hey, man, I know you've got a bunch of cleanup and, putting away. You're actually doing this from the toy hauler there, but I know you got stuff to do. And if you got a few more minutes, that's fine. If you need to get moving, we've got, we can let you go and finish up your evening there so you can get out tomorrow morning or.
Yeah, sounds good, man. That's fine. I appreciate you guys having me on here. I really enjoyed the podcast and the conversation we've had, and I've been listening to you guys ever since episode 1. I actually listened back a while back, and
you don't have permanent brain damage yet?
Well, what has started out like my car radio went out, so I had my phone. I'm like, I'll just listen to some podcasts. I could not find a UTV podcast anywhere, and then some guy named Chad Shoemaker posted this on Facebook. I'm like, no way, there's a UTV podcast now. So I listened to it, and I was like, oh, okay. Then I started from episode 1 all the way through to where we are now. And I actually look forward to it, believe it or not.
Well, we appreciate you listening. Why don't you tell everybody how they can find you guys over there at Side by Side Videos, and, that way they can find you, because everybody's always looking for good videos.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's easy. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and it's Side by Side Videos, and that's SXS Videos. And it's easy to find. Then I also have a Facebook profile, Side by Side Videos. And then Zach Nash, that's my name, so you can find me on Facebook there. And then also I'm an administrator on a Facebook page, Razor, Missouri. Me and a guy named Aaron Burnley run. And all my Side by Side videos is on there and whatever. But, I'm a open book. People can find me on there, just chat me, whatever they want to do,
Yep. We try to post content to your guys' stuff. I mean, we try and be as much contributors to the community as much as we are consumers of it also. So
sure. No, you guys are doing awesome. You guys are getting out there too.
We appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time to join us here. And
absolutely, man. Kind of last minute, but we really appreciate having you on. And
for sure, man.
Glad you had a good time on the ride this weekend. Sounds like despite a few broken parts, y'all had a good time down there.
Yeah, it worked out. Lots of carnage, but that's what we came for. So
Nice, man. Well, hey, this I'm sure this won't be the last time we bug you, and hopefully we can get out there on a ride with you next year. Would be the goal.
Yeah. Let me know anytime. I'll send you guys a message every time we do this, and I want to make a trip up to Badlands, so I'll holler at you if I do that. And
absolutely.
And every time we ride, I'll invite you. We'd love to have you out there. I tell everybody, anyone's welcome to ride with as long as they can keep up. So
heck yeah.
So, yeah, come take your chance.
I'll do that.
All right, Zach. Well, hey, man, we really appreciate having you on, and we'll catch up with you later, buddy.
All right, sounds good. Have a good night, guys.
Yeah,
you too.
See ya.
Bye.
All right, see ya.
There we go. We'll close that out, and maybe, come on, stop it. Facebook is not cooperating. That's pretty much par for the course for Facebook.
Pretty much.
No, it's good to have him on. We were talking this weekend, and I was just kind of a last minute, like, well, shoot, if you got some time, jump on, see what you guys are up to.
If you want to pull the list, there's a few things, and then basically we'll wrap up.
Yeah, I got that there on the. You get your choice since you populated the list.
I think it's stuff on there.
I think it's only fair that you get to pick what we talk about.
I vote racers' resumes.
Okay. So what do you want to talk about?
Okay.
Yes, they exist.
Yes.
Next question.
It's so tiny. Okay, so racers' resumes. Everybody, I see people all the time that are, I want to put together my resume, but I don't know what to do.
Oh, okay, I got you.
They're asking, and kind of one of the things, what do you need to do to stand out? So
okay.
So
what do you need to do to stand out?
Well, we had talked about this, and we're working on something for Steve Mueller right now that he's going to do basically a video racer's resume.
Yeah, we've been talking about getting into producing a few of those or helping people kind of point them in that right direction because, I mean, a paper resume is great.
It does convey the information. I'm not saying it doesn't.
This is a list of information. But what it doesn't necessarily show is basically, we always pick on Steve Mueller and use him as an example because honestly, he's a great example of this. It doesn't really convey the time and effort he puts into presentation of his machine.
Right.
And, a lot of other those kind of sort of intangibles that don't come across on paper. Just when you look at a list of, okay, you won this many events and you placed here and you took first overall in that series, and that's all fine and dandy. But I think can kind of be an eye-catching thing that puts you a cut above the other people who just have paper resumes, when you can go to Polaris or Can-Am or Yamaha and say, not only that, but look at this.
Right. Because I'm sure we'll take Polaris, for example.
They've got to get thousands a week.
Oh, yeah. They get thousands upon thousands of those things. And how are they going to pick? Blind luck?
Yeah, I mean, really, you almost have to know somebody to, it's just like applying for a job. You can put a resume in, but if they don't know you, it's just blind luck whether you got it or not. But if you know somebody, then maybe they read your resume a little more carefully. They know somebody in the company. And short of that, you have to do something to make your resume pop.
Well, it gets your foot in the door is what it does.
Yeah.
It stands up and says, hey, take a look at mine. I put in the extra effort.
Yeah, that's the other thing it shows is you put some time and effort and money into this whole thing, because it's going to cost you above and beyond just banging out something on your word processor.
Yeah.
Because a lot of guys are paying to have race resumes written because they don't even really know what goes into a paper one, much less a video one.
Yeah.
So there's money there.
So and I'll kind of do the shameless plug of it here. If you guys are interested in having a video racer's resume done, get with us. Now, it may be tough to do one for you with no content for us to, that we have on hand.
But maybe when you're planning out your 2019 campaign, you want to take a look at that.
Right.
And what we're kind of looking at doing is two different tiers. One would be, we'll make up one for you just out of whatever footage of you we happen to get throughout the season. And one, an upper tier that obviously is going to require more time and effort and therefore a little more cash on your part. But we will make sure that we are getting specific video and specific things to put in a resume, kind of go over a script with you that, what you want to convey in a very specific way, and then try and find video, throughout the season as we're recording to fit into that versus just whatever we happen to have captured along the way.
Yeah. Let me kind of put this in other terms. So let's say that there is a dealership. We'll say a off-road, side-by-side dealership. There's two of them in your town. One of them you don't hear anything from. They have a sign out in front, and you know that they exist. We'll say both do equal good work, both have, the same pricing and everything else. So there's no discernible difference between them. And the other one's running commercials and has ads in the paper, and they're actively participating in, other events that are in the area. Who are you going to notice the most? That's kind of where we're going with this. And we're not saying that you have to use us or anything else, but we're saying definitely have someone take a peek at your racer resume. Make sure that it lines up with what you're trying to convey, like what Doug was saying. But a video resume is definitely a way that you can set yourself apart from all the other people out there because, let's be real, you and all the other hundreds of racers that are out there, if I'm Polaris and I'm looking at both of your paper resumes sitting there, you're the same to me. I don't see any difference. I mean...
True.
But if you have a video racer resume and you have a nice paper written one as well, or not paper, but, a digital paper one that you have there and you're presenting well there and you show them that, I present well when I'm on the track. My buggy looks good when it's on the track, and we have video proof of this as it's going through all this. And, we have little interview clips with you saying, your goal is to present the sport in a good, wholesome way, and that's what you're trying to do, and you want to represent your sponsors and the brands that you race for in a positive light so that they get good advertisement. That's something a sponsor wants to see when you hand them a racer's resume.
So basically, this is the exact opposite of all the political ads that have been...
Yeah, because all the political ads... I was talking to my wife about this the other day. I don't know what anybody is actually going to do. I just know that they hate the other guy.
Yeah.
That's all I know.
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah, it is pretty much the exact opposite of that. But what we're saying is, the way we've always tried to treat it, and a lot of the top racers, if you guys will notice, you kind of take a step back and realize they don't treat it like we're going racing. they treat it like a business. And they're going to run their business as professionally as they can and present it as good as they can. Sometimes that means holding your tongue when you want to say something and you're thinking something. You just can't. You don't.
And it's not to say the racing is secondary, but it is, the mentality is not just I'm going to throw the buggy in the truck and go racing. It's I have this business to run and I get to race too.
Yeah. Part of my business is racing, but it's part of the business. You have to present it as I'm a professional person who is paid to race by these companies, whether that be in parts or cash, doesn't matter. But I need to represent these people the absolute best that I can. So that's what we're talking about with racers' resumes. Some racers, they just throw in there, I race this series, I race this series, and I race this series. This is how I placed, and that's what I got. Now, that's information.
Yeah.
But that's not selling yourself to them.
And that's the same thing. Yeah, that's the same thing everyone else is putting in at the same time. So we're going to play with this. It's not a new concept. There are racers that are already out there doing this sort of thing. And like I said, if you are interested in having us do one for you, by all means, contact us. But even if you don't have us do it, it's definitely worthwhile looking into something like this if you really want to get a factory backing or there's a specific dealership you're trying to impress or anything along those lines. Kind of think outside the box and push a little bit, because as the UTV crowd grows, not just the trail riders, but racers, as everything gets more popular and bigger, you're just one more voice in the crowd now.
Yeah. It's tough to separate yourself. So, I mean, we're not doing this as self-service and advertising for us to do this, really. We're trying to help the race community grow because, let's say, I mean, everybody wants to be a factory-backed racer if you're not. That's kind of, their goal. They want the factory to back them. How do you land the big fish that you've always wanted? Because you just saying, I'm going to, be a diehard Polaris fan, or I'm going to be a diehard Can-Am fan, and, I've raced your products for years. There's a million other people doing that. I mean,
yeah,
what sets you apart? So,
and I think part of it too is there's a little bit of a patience aspect involved. You may not get that sponsor your first year, especially if you're relatively unknown, or maybe this is your first foray into the sport, period. Some people are really good at selling themselves and may get that, but this, if you've tried in the past and haven't had any luck, maybe this is something you're interested in, or just maybe you just have somebody look over your paper resume. Maybe you're really not ready to commit to spending the amount of money and time to a video resume that some other racers are, but maybe just having a fresh set of eyes that is not you, that will just give you an honest opinion of, you know what, this doesn't really interest me when I read it. I would like to see X, Y, or Z.
Yeah, if you tweak this or present this in this certain way, it'll read better. It'll talk more about what you're trying to point them towards.
Yeah, go seek out that person that will give you an honest opinion about it versus just, oh no, it looks great.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I was going with it. And I think, like I said, it's that time of year. All the series are ending up, and people are starting to kind of get them ready. I know a lot of sponsorship places, the companies that advertise that they're open for sponsorship now, they're starting to post that kind of stuff. So it's time to start getting them in and getting them done. So
there you go. Yeah, it's kind of funny to think about. We're talking about the race season wrapping up, but the reality is it's just the start of the prep for next season.
It is. There's really not an end to race season. There's an end to racing, like for that season.
Yeah.
But if you're not racing, you should be building your machine for next year or going over it, making sure it's okay. You should be, getting your race resume up to date and doing all that stuff. You should be talking to sponsors. I've never really met a racer who is like, I've got enough sponsors and I don't want any more help. I've never met one of those yet. So you should be actively looking for sponsors as well. It's on the list there. We'll talk about that a little bit. But how do you get sponsors? And how do you get the sponsors you need or want?
I think the second question, honestly, is more important than the first.
Yep.
Almost any business is willing to have you slap their name on your buggy for next to nothing from you.
small discount in parts or something.
Yeah, or we can help you out. We'll give you 10% off accessories or something like that.
Yeah.
It's a better deal for them than it is for you. It's going to take some work to find somebody who is really willing to stand behind you and give you sponsorship in a meaningful way. In part because UTV racing as a whole just really isn't super profitable for anyone at this point.
No.
I mean, I'm actually really, really impressed at the level of commitment that Lucas Oil has put into the Midwest Short Course. Now, they're running Pro 4 and Pro 2 and Pro Light, and they're, the buggies and all that other kind of stuff as well. So they already had a venue for it. I mean, it's not like they created Crandon to race side-by-sides. But it still took a lot of money, time, and effort for them to say, you know what, we're going to throw 3 different classes of UTVs at this as well.
Yeah.
And just kind of, in a way for them, I think, hoping that it would pay off in the long run for them.
And I think it's starting to. I mean, I don't know their books, but...
I imagine that it is starting to as well, but that was in some ways a leap of faith. That was not a slam dunk.
No, it wasn't.
And now if you scale that down from a national series with a huge title sponsor, Lucas Oil, now you scale that down to a small regional series that nobody outside of the region has heard of, and you're dealing with sponsors that are, basically just selling to the other people in the series. It can definitely get tougher. It's not undoable, but I guess all that's to say, you're probably going to have to put some legwork in and find somebody who really is interested in your race program to make sure that it's a good partnership for both of you. And so you shouldn't necessarily be shy about asking for certain things. Or I guess what I'm saying is you shouldn't be shy about presenting your goals to your sponsor. And if you don't say eye to eye, or they're not interested in sponsoring you at the level that you think you need to be sponsored at, that's okay to just say, you know what, I don't think we're a good fit for each other.
Right. And that will actually probably be better for everyone in the long run at that point. One of the other things that I've seen, and I think it bites more racers than what they would admit. They want to go to a sponsor who makes a really nice part that they've always liked, and they want them to give them that part, but they've never ran their parts. Like they weren't already a consumer at some level of their parts already.
I'll put your stuff in my buggy and run them and advertise for you.
Yeah, but I've never bought your stuff, or I bought very little of your stuff. That's a tough one to swallow for the sponsor to actually say, oh yeah, I'll just give you parts because you want them, is really what it comes down to.
And for them, they're thinking, okay, this will be, you kind of give me a little bit of lip service for 1 year, and then you're off to another manufacturer, or, maybe you don't actually like their parts. It's better than stock, but there's things you don't like about it. And so now, again, you're off to some other manufacturer next year. They would rather have somebody that knows that year in, year out, you really actually like their parts, use their parts, that you're going to just more than at the podium say, and so
thank you to X brand,
and then move on. They want somebody who really is going to be an evangelist for them, because what you're doing is you are trading your basically advertisement and endorsement for either a discount or free parts, or however they're sponsoring you. You're being paid to represent that brand, to be actually a fan of that brand,
a salesman of that brand. That's what you are.
And so they are going to be looking for a return on that investment.
Yeah, and that kind of goes hand in hand with what we've talked about. It's been several podcasts now since we've mentioned it, but don't get involved with companies that you are not willing to 100% put your name behind.
Right.
That is,
Now, no company is perfect,
right?
And there's always going to be naysayers. There's always going to be people that say, hey, I don't like them because this one weird thing happened, and you never know the whole story of why they hate that particular brand. But it has to be something that you do believe in. Spang's Fab, we've got radius rods and lower A-arms on the front of your Razor from them. And Steve's Cage, Spang's Fab. In fact, there were several.
Cody's Cage,
the pink buggy, that's a Spang's Fab. And is it absolutely 110% perfect? No, there's small things that if you or I designed it, we may change, but that's nitpicky type of stuff. I mean, there's nothing functionally that says, you know what, this is terrible and we're just putting our name behind it because they gave us some free parts. We're happy to have them on the buggy, and honestly, we would do it again tomorrow without batting an eye whether or not we were sponsored.
The reason we went with Spanx Fab as one of our sponsors, he's a reasonably local guy to us.
Yes.
He's a small businessman. He treats everyone well. I've seen his products on many buggies, and I've seen his products hold up to a lot of abuse on many buggies.
Exactly.
He's a great, like I said, he's a great guy. He's always treated everyone well and all that stuff. That's the kind of people that I want to surround myself with, both on the racetrack, friends, everything else, because they're doing it right.
Yeah.
I don't want to get involved with, and I'm not pointing this towards any business, so don't even take it that way. I don't want to get involved with the shyster who, you know, when something goes wrong, he won't return your call, and no one knows where he's at, and you know, it's just questionable business tactics all the way around.
No, he takes his stuff personally, and he takes pride in what he does. I mean, his name is on it, and so he wants every part that goes out the door to be perfect.
Right.
You know, as perfect as he can possibly make it. And like I said, anything above and beyond that is just nitpicking. Well, I would have done this slightly different. Well, then you can make your own part. But that's nitpicking. That has nothing to do with the actual functionality of the part or how well it's made or anything along those lines. And like you said, the big thing for me is he stands behind it.
Yeah. I mean, and the same goes for every one of our sponsors. I wouldn't have got involved with any of them if any of them were even remotely questionable. You know, TGM Off-Road, UTV Dash Doors, those guys over there, they're on the other side of the world. Never personally met them. We don't even speak the same language, but I've chatted with Nick a lot, and real stand-up guy. Just, I mean, you know,
absolutely.
Same with Cody and over at CW Motorsports, you know, Harrison Power Sports, just Watch Communications, everybody. And I don't know if I got them all because I did them out of order, but I'm trying to think.
Close enough.
Good enough. But every one of them. And
UTV Engineering.
UTV Engineering with Mike, yeah. Every one of them, just stand-up guys that are interested in the side-by-side community and just they're living their dream. They're trying to make a business out of working in the thing that they enjoy the most.
Absolutely. And so we have a relationship that works for us because we basically have said, hey, this is kind of what we need out of you guys, and we haven't been afraid to be upfront about that. And then it either works out for them or it doesn't. I mean, there's been other people that probably would have jumped on board as quote-unquote sponsors, but we're not going to just throw out names for absolutely no reason.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't make sense for them and it doesn't make sense for us, then we're not going to do it. So it's a two-way relationship, and it's got to be something we absolutely believe in, and that translates directly over to whether you're racing or you're trail riding or anything along those lines. Anytime where you're involved in some sort of UTV activity that will involve sponsorship, whatever that looks like.
Yep. So there we are, getting all serious. We're gonna have to knock that stuff off.
I don't know. It's been a long time since we've done a decent show. But yeah, I feel very fortunate, honestly. As a whole, this community has been great. And it's really, really hard to find a kind of a bad apple, if you will.
It is. There's a lot of good people out there.
So it's kind of one of those things where I don't think you have to look real long and hard to find people who want to be involved with you in what you're doing with UTVs. But the biggest thing, I think, is just making sure you have a clear understanding up front so you don't have a falling out later about what both parties are going to be getting out of it.
Yep. So we are, I believe, approaching that time.
Yeah, we're close enough.
For your trivia. I got your cat trivia last time.
Yes, you did. It was National Cat Day.
I guess, if that's what you and Steve told me. So I don't remember how I did. I'm going to say reasonable.
You did pretty good. We did 10 questions. I want to say you probably got 4 of them right, and then a couple of them you were dancing around it.
Okay,
I'll take that. Yeah.
For not being
the giraffe one totally throws me that you got that.
that was pure blind luck guess.
Like, I don't know what giraffe. I was looking at my list. I'm like, no, that's correct.
It's completely right. Okay. So are you ready for your trivia of the week?
Let's do it.
All right. Question number 1. What is the largest country entirely within the southern hemisphere? So it doesn't go into the northern hemisphere of the Earth at all.
I'm gonna go Australia.
You are correct. Very good. I wouldn't have thought that.
I was thinking Brazil.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty good size, but
but Australia's bigger.
Australia, yeah.
Yep. I would not have gotten that one. Just
Really?
yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I would have.
Go me.
Go you. All right. Pat Garrett shot and killed what legendary outlaw?
John Dillinger?
No, Billy the Kid.
Oh, okay.
That's all right. I'd heard that one, but yeah, Billy the Kid. So
Oh, okay.
question number 3: what letters displayed on a typical hot water tap in France?
Shoot.
Get your French warmed up, Douglas.
I'm trying. Well, I never took French, but I took 4 years of Latin, and they're related. Don't ask me why I took 4 years of Latin. It's private school. I didn't have a choice.
I was going to make a joke there, but we won't make that joke.
I don't know. C. We'll go weird.
You are correct. It is C.
Well, it's because I was remembering back, and I was thinking that the Latin / Spanish / French word for hot was actually started with a C.
Yep, it does.
So what's the cold water tap having it?
I don't know. Not C.
Another C.
C and C.
Which one's which?
Okay. Question number 4. Another Simpsons one.
Sweet.
We got to throw those in. In the TV show The Simpsons, what is Barney's last name? It's Homer's friend, you know, he's always at the bar.
The drunk?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to know it when I hear it, but I can't.
No
I can't think of it.
No guess?
I know it's not Miller, but I'll say Miller.
Gumble. Barney Gumble.
Oh, okay. Yep. I was like, dang it. I know I'm going to know it when I hear it.
Yep.
I'll bet you Simpsons has been on for what? 23 seasons?
A long time.
I'll bet you I've seen a total of a dozen complete episodes. Like sat down and watched them.
Really?
Yeah, I bet you it's a dozen.
I used
tops.
to watch a lot of them, but I haven't in probably the last 15 years or 10 years anyway.
Some, like 5 minutes in passing
15.
type of stuff, but yeah. It's just never a big thing for me.
Okay. Question number 5. When it was first created in 1938, what was the minimum federal wage in the United States?
When was it created?
1938.
38. That was after the $5 day forward. I don't know. I'll say 75 cents an hour.
25 cents an hour.
25 cents an hour. Okay.
The $5 a day thing from Ford, they were actually paid amazingly well.
Oh yeah, but that was considerably before 1938. So I was thinking, well, things may have kind of caught up by then, but 25 cents a day. Or
No,
an hour. Okay.
Yeah.
So $2 a day.
Yeah. Well, but you got to think, what does a factory worker make now? You know, an average factory worker on a line will make 50,000 or so, 40 to 50. And a really well-paid factory worker now is 80, 70 to 80.
I'm just typing.
You're looking at
I'm bringing up an
inflation.
inflation calculator here because I'm really seriously curious what. Okay, so we're going to go 0.25 in January of 19.
Does it go back that
Does it
far?
go back that far? That's the next question. Yeah, it looks like it does. So you said 38?
38.
Okay, 1938.
To September of 2018.
That's only $4.44 an hour today.
Right.
So it's not much.
No.
Because minimum wage now is what, $7.25 or something?
Yeah. I think it's $7.25 still.
Now that's buying power. That's not, there's different ways to calculate inflation, but
Right.
Well, considering there was no minimum wage before, that was a step in the right direction.
Correct.
But yeah, I was expecting that to be higher than that.
I was too. But
There you go.
all right. Question number 6. What word did Alexander Graham Bell suggest for answering the phone?
Oh, shoot. I do. Dang it. It wasn't hello. I can't remember. Again, I'll know it when I hear it, but it was pretty funny.
No guess?
No,
Ahoy.
Yes. Which I really wish that would have stuck.
I laughed at that.
Ahoy
one.
there, Chad.
Ahoy.
Actually, there's a whole bunch of crazy suggestions. Like, if you go look that up.
Oh, really?
There was a bunch of really crazy suggestions as to how one should answer the phone.
Okay. Question number 7. What is nephology the study of?
Nephology?
Yes. Do you want me to spell it for you? If it'll
Sure.
help. Nephology.
The study of nephews.
No, it is the. You ready, or you want it? You want to guess a real one?
No, I'll stick with that. I know it's wrong.
Study of nephews. No, it's a study of clouds.
Okay, I was not going to go there, so. What?
Uh,
That just brings up so many more questions, but okay.
Yep, no idea on that one. Okay. Question number 8. What is the dot on top of the letter I called? There's 2 things it's called. I'll take either one.
The dot.
No, it has an actual name.
It does. I don't know. It's been a long time since I took English. Probably didn't teach that either.
I knew this one right away.
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
No guess?
And you wouldn't have guessed Australia, huh?
No.
Okay. What is it?
It's called a tittle or a superscript dot.
Okay. This. Yeah, I never, ever would have guessed that. I don't think I've ever heard it called that.
Oh, really?
No. Superscript dot's kind of lame, but whatever.
Yeah, but I'd heard it called a tittle several times.
Okay.
So, all right. Question number 9. How many degrees of black belt are there in karate from student to, and I'll probably mess up how to say this, but it's Hanshi, Hanshi. That's like the highest level.
I don't know why, but I want to say 19.
There's 10.
Okay.
So, no, you were wrong.
So if you're an 11th degree black belt, you're a liar?
Yes. I'm a 12th degree.
See, I've heard people
better.
say stuff like that, so I just assumed they were full of crap, but now I know for sure.
All right. Question number 10. How many points is the letter K worth in a game of Scrabble?
It's not 13. I don't know. 7?
5.
5.
Not worth as much as you would think. I would have thought a K would have been worth more.
Well, there's a fair amount of words with K's in them, I suppose.
Like KKK.
Anyways,
We do have a stupid stuff with Chad.
I think that was it.
No.
In the wake of the shooting out there in
You were
Philadelphia.
You were actually involved in this one this week.
The shooting in Philadelphia?
No, the stupid stuff with Chad.
Okay. Go for it.
So I'm at work on Friday. You were up at the same location.
Oh,
I am.
yes.
And I had to go down to the data center, which is located in the basement of the building that I work in. So I'm going down there, and I hop in the elevator on the 3rd floor where I am, push the basement button, and we stop at the 2nd floor, and this lady gets on. I don't know this lady, but I'm friendly. I'll talk to anybody. And she gets on, and she's got like this. I'm going to say it's a garbage bag because that's what it looked like. But it's full of cookies. And me, not thinking, I just go, that's a lot of cookies to be walking around with. And she goes, oh, yeah, I got a lot of cookies here. You want some? And I'm like, okay. So some strange lady gives me cookies. And then, to boot, on top of that, I just go up where Doug was, and I tell him, hey, this lady gave me cookies. You want some cookies?
Of course, I'm like, I have no idea where they came from. Chad doesn't know this person, but what's the worst that could happen?
Yeah, it's kind of amazing anymore. So I got stranger cookies in the elevator from some lady who I don't know.
And you don't know about people anymore. Like, you really legitimately don't.
So either she was like going to poison a whole bunch of people and I was taking my chances, or she was just really nice and she was giving out cookies in the elevator to people.
I've been fine all weekend, so I think we're past the danger zone.
The poison? Either that or we've built up a tolerance.
Like, I don't say no to cookies, though. So if somebody wants to do me in, that's a really good way. Because you just came up with strange people cookies, and I was like, done.
I think
I'm
you were
going
like,
in.
Where'd you get those? Lady in the elevator. Didn't know her.
Okay, good enough.
You want a cookie still? Yeah. This is a weird stuff that just happens to me.
I'm okay. If you know what, if you get more weird free cookies, I'm okay with that.
Okay.
That's better than most of the stories we end up with.
True.
Well, before we get to our sponsor part, this is going to come out Tuesday morning, and it is Election Tuesday. Yep. And from here at Eminent Performance, we would like to say we don't really care who you vote for, but we would like you to go vote. It's a right that sometimes we take for granted, and your voice does count, no matter how little you may think it is, and no matter how terrible politics may seem on the TV or the radio or wherever you're getting, lambasted with stuff. In fact, I was just clearing up my mail pile before I came here.
Yeah.
Half of it was political ads. Like I can't think of how many trees they killed just sending that junk out. But definitely get out there. This comes out first thing in the morning, so you've got all day. The polls close at 6. Go vote.
Go pick your poison, because if you don't, you're going to be poisoned by something you didn't pick.
Exactly. Shot or stabbed. Those are your choices. Anyways, we do want to say thank you to Watch Communications for hosting the podcast and our website. You can find them on the web at watchcom.net, and the code Waste of Time, all lowercase, will get you 1 month of free hosting for your cat website, because that's what Chad is into now.
Sure it isn't.
Also want to say a big shout out to our other sponsors, TGM Off-Road, UTV-Doors.com, UTV Engineering, Harrison Power Sports, CW Motorsports, and of course Spanx Fab, since we gave them a plug earlier. Just, again, great sponsors, have been huge supporters of the show, and we cannot thank you guys enough. If you need their contact information, just go to our webpage, eminentperformance.com, and click on the sponsors link, and that'll get you in touch with them. You can find this on the web at, well, let's start with Facebook, /Eminent Racing, on Instagram at Eminent Racing. And you can find the video version of this on YouTube and the audio version on Google Play, iTunes, Stitcher, and iHeartRadio.
Correct. You got them.
Cool. And no matter what strange things you've put in your body, thanks for riding along with us.
Thanks, guys.
Tired of going down, tired of myself, tired of this town.
Deep